Hi friends, welcome back. Today is November 16th and it is time to plant out my winter garden inside my hoop house. I live in Northern Virginia and you might think that it is too late to be planting vegetables into the garden at this time. But if you're growing under a hoop house, it is like growing one USDA zone above you. So by growing under this hoop house, I have a zone 8 or zone 8B climate. And I'm gonna utilize that to grow a lot of vegetables this winter. Last year, I planted everything out in the greenhouse middle of November, so it is about that time. And I know for a fact, last year I got all of my salad greens out of this hoop house, so I know that it's doable. If you don't have a greenhouse, you can have very small hoop houses over your raised beds, and that will create the same effect as a greenhouse. Here are 3 crops that you can plant right now in the middle of November under cover in zone 7. The first one is spinach. Last year I planted this spinach in the middle of November and it produced a harvest all the way until the end of April. The second crop that you can grow is turnip greens. Turnip greens are grown for the greens rather than the actual turnip. I don't really like the taste of turnips, but the greens do really well and they are very tasty, and I use them in sautés, I use them in salads sometimes, and soups. The third crop that you can plant right now, it is daikon radishes. These daikon radishes are just like a normal radish, but instead of being like a ball like this, they grow a long tuber and it's nice and tasty. I like daikon radishes because they're not just a green, and in the winter we're growing a lot of greens, but a radish is a little bit different because it has a crunch to it and you can use it as a vegetable. To plant them out, I need to dig out this bed because I had sweet potatoes growing in here, so there might be a few sweet potatoes that I gotta pick out of this bed right here, and then back over there, I have some turnip greens that I need to harvest and eat. It is getting very hot in here because the sun is beaming down on this greenhouse. Before I plant anything, I'm going to amend my soil here. I put down compost last year and it did really well. And I'm gonna be adding more compost this year. This year I bought some leaf compost from a local nursery. And this leaf compost came in and it wasn't all the way done, so I put them into containers. So I put the compost into buckets like this and I let it sit for about 5 months, and now the compost is done and it's great to add as a topper. So I'm going to be adding probably 1 bucket to this whole raised bed. This raised bed is probably 20 inches wide by about 8 feet long. I'm going to be planting the spinach in a grid system, and I'm going to be planting them about 3 to 4 inches apart. Probably 4 inches apart, so that they have enough space to build out and I can harvest the outer leaves. I'm putting a little stick in the ground to kind of make a division, a visual division between the seeds. I just planted the spinach here, so I'm putting this little sticks here, so I know that the spinach ends here and the radish starts here. I was able to plant out all my seeds, and now I just have to water them in and hopefully they'll start growing in a few days. Let's use some free rainwater. Hopefully they sprout in a few days. It's supposed to get pretty cold in the next week, but that's okay. The greenhouse will protect the seeds, and I'm hoping that they sprout within 10 days or so. If you enjoyed this content, please make sure you give it a like and make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so that you can see the updates on this greenhouse. I need to plant out the rest of this greenhouse, and I'm hoping to do a few projects in here during the winter time. So make sure that you are subscribed and you hit that bell notification button so that you can get notified every time I post a video. See you on the next one.